big is that lens? Shit. So guys, what is going on? This is my first week back in Melbourne. So, by the way, Zac Perna here. The worst intro ever. Yeah, so first week back in Melbourne since Dubai, which was awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed those videos too, by the way. Now today's video is something I literally thought of just yesterday, because I get a lot of people, like beginners or just a lot of kids who are starting in the gym that want to know tips. Like they just say, can you give me tips? And I have so many tips, I can't get into, unless you ask me specifically, but there are so many things that I've learned that I wish I had have known back when I started, that I've kind of just learned along the way. So I thought this video could be a good like insight into the things that I've learned from training, and I guess what I wish I had have known from the beginning, or at least understood. And also I was privileged enough to sit down with a couple of fans too, and I actually asked each individual, what do you struggle with? And these were their responses, so have a look at the footage. Thank you for joining me. So what is it that you struggle with, say, the most when it comes to your training or diet?
I'd say the hardest thing is water.
As in like meeting your daily hydration intake?
There's literally finding any water anywhere. It's actually really difficult. Sometimes actually piss into my protein shake. I put a bit of protein in there, and that is the only way that I can survive in the gym, especially when it's so desolate or you've just eaten something really salty. Piss.
Next one.
Like me, myself, I'm a celebrity chef, if you haven't noticed. And even still, the cooking is such an important process, and having good, delicious, wholesome, healthy meals is so important, and I believe I don't know how to do it. It's hard. It's hard.
Like, hardest thing for me personally is probably fighting off the girls, like the bitches when I walk into the gym. Like I'll be trying to do a set and they'll just come over and like, hey, like what's going on? You know, like they're cool and stuff, like babes, you're cool, but like, I need to get jacked right now. Like I even told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I need to get jacked. Give me some space. That's a complete lie, isn't it?
Yeah, no, like that's never happened.
Not yet, at least, not yet. Okay, thank you for joining me. So I guess a question that I've been asking the other guys is, what do you find the hardest in the gym? Let's start with in the gym.
Hardest thing for me was when I got into the gym, I trained with my cousin.
Yep.
And together, we were good training partners. We got that form, we got that overload. Before we know it, we became more than training partners. We were friends. And now I got my baby boy. Man, I love that little sucker. And now we all go to the gym together as a family. And I guess the hardest thing is judging the looks. And sometimes people look at you in the gym, and you got to get your rifle out and point directly at their head. You got to shoot them in the gym, and some gyms don't allow that.
Okay, I'm pronouncing that correctly. What do you struggle with most in the gym?
I think that the hardest thing in the gym is building a balanced physique. When I train with Georgie, he struggles to build the right side of his body because I bit his arm off. So I guess my question to you, Zach, is what do you do when you accidentally bite someone's arm off and they can't bench press with the bar anymore? How do you fix that?
Okay, I have never had that happen to me ever, and I'd get that sorted as soon as possible, because that's terrifying. What do you struggle with in the gym?
When you go into the gym and they're playing, the rap music, and you just go in there, try to listen to some house music, and they don't turn it down. And you try to tell them, can you turn the music down or change the rap to some other kind of music, and they just look at you like you're some kind of idiot. And you're like, do I look like an idiot to you? And most of the times they say yes. I guess, with the diet, to make the meals taste good, as well as good for you. Some foods that I try to make that taste good, for example, smoked salmon, oatmeal, the steak, and burger, the eggs, the chicken eggs, as well as, sometimes random bird eggs. If I go for a walk outside, see a nest, I will often pick up the eggs and cook with them. They are just some of my favorites.
Yeah, that's basically all we needed to hear. So thank you for coming down. I hope I helped.
I don't follow you on Instagram. I just wanted to share my opinion. Thank you.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's get to the video, because we've got some serious things I want to touch on. All right, so let's get into it. Now, the way that we're gonna do this, guys, is first, you're gonna like the video, because I always forget to say that. I say it at the end, people tune out. I get a 90% drop-off rate in the end, and nobody likes the video. So, like I said, last video uploaded, 0 likes. No, but the way that this is gonna work is after you like the video, then I'm gonna talk about 5 things. So 5 kind of like lessons that I've learned from training, bodybuilding, like the whole fitness thing. And basically in terms of, so these are my biggest tips. Training, and then food, and then a bit of the mentality. So I guess that kind of is everything. That's the main things I can think of. So let's just get training over and done with. So I'll give you another chance to like the video, and in case you thought I was kidding, because I'm not. Bear's right there. She's gonna bark. I bet you $500 she's gonna bark. So the training side of things. Now, what did I just say? Shut up. Okay, so the training side of things. Now, oh my God, stop it. She wants me to throw this. Get out. Okay, so my biggest tip when it comes to training is number 1, get your form right. So guys, if you are new to training, if you're like brand new and you just joined a gym, you need to practice form. And a lot of people think, yeah, I have good form. Just because it's not bad, doesn't mean it's good. Okay, so watch some of my videos, see if you can kind of emulate it. But a lot of the time, you need somebody to tell you, because you don't know what you're doing wrong a lot of the time. So even still, I get my form checked on like maybe a monthly basis with one of my mates who's smarter than me and better.
Slightly overstretch, plenty of tension through the lat on the way down, pause and up.
And he'll fix things that I'm not aware of, even in myself. So for you guys, you might need to get a PT. So get a trainer that actually can, knows what they're doing and can look at you and go, okay, with your incline bench, keep your shoulders back or something like that, So it really, really helps. Or even have your, shut up bear. Get even one of your mates. So you say you go to the gym with your mate, actually like talk to each other and have a look at your training partner and say, well, is he doing something wrong? Like, or could he do this better? Could he do this better? And that's why, don't like think, hey, he's critiquing me, that means he's saying I'm a piece of shit. Like the amount of times when I just started training and then like, I'd be like to my brother, I'd be like, hey Joel, with your like dumbbell shoulder press, come a bit lower. And he'd be like, fuck off. And I'm like I just offended him. So don't take it like personally, guys. Get your form sorted from the beginning, because if you don't, not only is it gonna lead to like muscle imbalances in the future, and lagging body parts because you're not activating muscles correctly, but also it could lead to injury. So we don't want either of those things. So from the beginning, guys, prioritize form. Take the weight right down, slow the reps right down, feel the muscle you're working. If I had have nailed that when I was 15, 16, the training would have been so much better. But it took me a while, it took me a long time. Only now am I confident in my form, but back when I started, it was very, very questionable. So I'm just lucky that I didn't get injured. Now, the second most important thing when it comes to training is progressive overload. So when I first joined the gym, all I did was annihilate my body. Like I would go in there and just brutally attack myself with a bat, with a whip. I would just whip my back. No, I would like just go to the gym with the sheer purpose of fucking my body up. So I would do drop sets after drop sets, superset, until I was numb, taxed, my joint hurt, and I thought, and if I woke up really sore the next day, I was like, that was a sick workout. When it's just not the case. I mean, it's not saying they're not related, but it's not everything. So your goal shouldn't be just to go in there and just fuck yourself up. It's not the goal. Your goal should be to go in there and stimulate your muscles correctly so that you can grow. So one of the biggest fundamentals in terms of like training and growth is progressive overload. So you hear that all the time. What is it? Increasing volume over time, which means, getting more reps or getting, stronger with more weight each week or over time, just over time. You can't really do that each week, but over time that's the goal. So if assuming you're progressively overloading and you're eating at a surplus, then you should be growing muscle, okay? So whether you write it down in a logbook or you're just keeping a mental note and just ensuring that that's the goal always over time. That's why rest is good, and that's why you can't just go balls to the wall and try to kill yourself in one session, because you have to look like in the long run, over a whole year of progressively overloading and doing things smart, that's a lot better than just one session where you just go nuts. So that's why it's a long game. You can't just go in there and smash, work on all your strength in one workout and think, sweet, now I'm good to go. Like it's really, you're chipping away at it every single day. So keep that, it's a long-term thing, guys. Keep that in the back of your mind. And I think that's the basics in terms of training. They're the things that I really need to emphasize to people. So even if you probably knew that, I mean, it's common sense, but you sometimes need to just hear it again and remind yourself, okay, form's important, progressive overload is important. Now, in terms of the diet side of things, now literally the most important tip I would have in terms of diet is learn how to cook. So actually invest time in learning how to cook, be interested in it, and make food that tastes nice. So in the beginning, you're probably gonna be pretty shit. I mean, I was. When I first started cooking my own food, I sucked. I felt I would just like make the most bland, dry, just tasteless meals. But because I love food and I'm interested in doing it, I would try to make healthy alternatives. And over time, because you're interested in it and you're practicing, you just get better and you experiment with different things. Check all my YouTube videos out on cooking. Like I put a ton out there to try help you guys with your own skills in the kitchen. So it's people like, laugh at it, and old bodybuilders might think, you just gotta eat egg whites and oats, and if it tastes good, then it's shit. Like I literally remember, shout out to Scooby, the first like YouTube channel I ever saw, I think, and he said, if it tastes good, spit it out. And I heard that, I'm like, that's sad. Like that sucks. I don't want to do that. I love food. So when I like cook my meals now, everything tastes the best. I mean, life's too short to go through your day hating what you eat. That's why in all my meal plans and at massivefm.com and my clients, shout out, then I make sure that the meals are good. I make sure they're nice and I'd enjoy them. Otherwise, there's no point to all this. You're just depressing yourself. So guys, you need to really, really emphasize learning how to cook. So whether you get your mum to teach you a few things or just practice yourself, like I said, watch my videos. It's even simple things like switching out chicken breast for chicken thighs. Maybe including, cooking with butter instead of oil. You're still getting your fats in. Like just making room for, say, one of your favorite sauces. Just because it's a diet doesn't mean you can't have a sauce or a seasoning, like stuff like that it's a small thing, it'll make a huge difference in the long run. Say if you're dieting, for example, you're losing weight, you're getting better and better, and you're loving what you eat. Like there's no better combination. Like yes, it can be done without it, but that's when you can get eating disorders, you want to binge and you can't stick to a diet. The best I've ever stuck to my diet was when I had like a really high fat diet and I just was cooking with everything that I wanted to eat. I was full, I was like, satiated, and I didn't feel like any junk food, because if I wanted, I would have something. Like I would eat a lot of steak every single day, salmon, butter, eggs, like bacon, you name it. Like you name it, probably not you name it, but I had a lot. So my point there is, like, don't neglect cooking, guys. Work on your skills in the kitchen and actually make sure your food tastes good. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about is being patient. So this is, I know it's common sense and you guys probably don't want to hear this, but it is a long-term game. So you can't just jump into this and expect this crazy physique if that's what your goal is, in just a couple of months. I mean, this stuff takes time. And I remember when I started, I thought that, okay, I'm gonna bulk for 8 weeks and then I'm gonna cut for 4 weeks and I'll have my physique. I literally thought that I would have a decent physique after 12 weeks or however long it was. Long story short, I was deluded, all right? And yes, that was good in the beginning. I don't think it's the worst thing because it keeps you like in the gym in the first 8 weeks when you might struggle with motivation. But in the back of your mind, knowing that you are in this for a long time. So if you want like a pretty decent physique, if you want to build a lot of muscle, it's going to take a long time. This stuff doesn't happen very quickly. So you guys need to learn that and just be comfortable with the fact that, yeah, it's going to take time. So what do? You have to enjoy it. Now, if you don't enjoy it and you really hate getting to the gym, you might need to find another activity or exercise that you do enjoy, like play another sport. If your goal is strictly for the aesthetic and the body of it, then suck it up and just do it, right? But know that it might not be a very long-term thing for you. So you might not always gonna have it. But for me, I really loved it. So I fell in love with training, with diet, with everything. I just wanted to look after my body and get better and better. So for me, it was easy. And because 2 months will go like that. 2 months go so quick. And you don't even notice how many gym workouts you've had. You don't think, oh, should I go to the gym today? You just do it, it's what you do. You end up loving it. So that's why I have no problem with other people doing different things. Like there's all this shit talk about CrossFitters and, what should you powerlifting or bodybuilding or strong, all these different types. It's like, it's good that there's so many different options, If you enjoy it, do it. Like that's what I really enjoy bodybuilding training. It's just that's how I like to train. And so that's how I'm gonna train because there's longevity in that for me and I like it. So guys, if you don't like training bodybuilding, try something else and see if you can find a bit more of a love for it because that is what's gonna keep you in it for a long time. So be honest with yourself. Do you really hate this? Are you better off doing something else? Or do you love it? If you do, then great, because you can be in it for a long time and you can be successful. So this is probably the most controversial point that I'm gonna make in this entire video that some people might agree or disagree with, but this dog is growling me again, I swear to God. My point is this, it's don't compare yourself to other people. So what I mean by that is don't think that you can look like a certain way because you see someone else can, okay? So I'll elaborate. When I first started, here's a personal example. When I first started, I was a year or two into training. I didn't understand, how long things take. I didn't understand genetics. I just thought, if he can look like that, I can look like that, So I would literally look at, I remember Ulysses' tricep, for example. Where is it? There. Look at that tricep. That is insane. I used to think, okay, so I need a little bit more of that tricep. So I would incorporate something that's gonna hit that outer head, like maybe a neutral grip pull down. That's what I did. A neutral grip push down. That's what I did. So here's me, 16 years old, maybe 64 kilos or 63 kilos, and then you see me just doing some isolation like tricep push downs because I'm thinking about Ulysses' tricep in the back of my head. I didn't understand that I needed to just grow my tricep, and it's gonna look like it's gonna look like. It's, if I just train my tricep, focus on growth, not try to isolate pinpoints. For example, another guy, I don't know who it was, but all the guys had huge chests, like differentiation, like big chest development here, strong line, and I'm like, how do I get that inner chest? So I would substitute a better exercise, like for example, a bench press, or instead of doing a dumbbell bench press, I might go ahead and do a lying plate press with 15 kilos. So because I'm thinking about inner chest, because I'm trying to get a look like someone else. So even like this, I can literally, the list goes on. There are so many things I did like that. Whereas I didn't have anybody to tell me, you have to grow the muscle as a whole. The shape of your body is determined by your genetics as well. Like my brother, Joel's got not a 4-pack, but Joel has 2 less abs than me, so 4-pack. If I've got 6, it looks like he's got 4. They're blockier, but he's got 4. So back in the day, he used to think, can I get an extra 2? And now we laugh at it, but at the time it made sense to us because we saw other people, Ulysses has fucking 20, and we're like, why has he only got 4? Why have I only got 6? So that's the point, is your genetic makeup is gonna determine what your body looks like. Some people have really wide shoulder, clavicles, so their shoulders look a bit wider when they're starting training. Some people have really, they struggle with upper chest development. I mean, they can build it, but they might not have as full upper chest as some of the bodybuilders where their upper chests are absolutely huge. So the genetics guys, the genetics is a huge component of it. You can only be as good as you can be. You can't be as good as someone else. Just because someone else is a certain way doesn't mean you can get there as well. So don't be disheartened by these guys. I remember when I first kind of realized, shit, I'm not gonna look like Lazar Angelov. I was a little bit upset because I was like, damn. And it wasn't because I was 17 and thinking, he does steroids and I don't. It was like, this guy is a genetic freak and he's got an insane physique with, perfect muscle bellies. I don't have those genetics. Therefore, I'm not gonna look like him in those proportions, The only thing I can do is look as best as I can look. And as soon as I was happy with that, and I actually came to terms with that my goal should be making my physique the best that I can be, that's when I was actually comfortable, because then I will stop comparing myself. I didn't look at other people and go, oh damn, I wish I was as tall as him, or I wish I had his chest. Don't worry yourself with that, guys. You need to just think, okay, make the best with your own genetic potential. That's why, with all my coaching stuff, I obviously use myself as an example, but I never, ever tell people, you can look like me. Because the fact is, some people can't. You might train you will train for as long as you want, and you will never look like me. You might look better. You might look better in some ways, you might look worse in some ways, but we have different genetics, so you can't look like, you won't get my physique if you do, use my workouts. So some people, I think I have average genetics. I can build muscle, I can burn fat. There's some people out there that really struggle, like the ectomorphs, and they might not ever get as big as me, ever, no matter what. But I'm not gonna say no matter what, because you can do a million things, but it's just that's my point I'm trying to make here, is that you shouldn't just compare yourself to me. And I never ever tell people that you're gonna look like me, because you simply don't know. I don't know. All I can say is, hey, here's what I've done, here's what I know how to do. Let me help you get to the best that you can be. So that's what you guys should be thinking, is getting to the best that you can be for your body and maximizing your strengths. Like for example, if you have really well defined abs and you don't store body fat in your abs very well, smash it. Train your abs like crazy, get them awesome, and that'll be your strong point. Work on your strengths and think, hey, I got sick abs. My abs look better than Zac's. Because for example, I have shit ab genetics, in my opinion. I also store body fat hard on my midsection. So that's one of the downsides of mine. But it doesn't really upset me. I mean, I work around it, and then I try to, maximize my strong points. I think, hey, I got a pretty small waist. That's pretty cool, I guess. I have wider lats, So you need to think about what you like about your body, what you would like to improve on. But don't think, what do I need to change? Because that's just gonna mess with your head. If you think, I need to get bigger, you know, I need to be this wide, I just mean like you can't change the insertion points on your body, you know? So this is like where I don't understand this with the whole, a lot of guys find comfort in knowing like if someone else is natural or not. I think this is why the whole easy natty, like I don't understand this, because like some of the best natural guys, you know, like Uzoma, he has a freakish physique. I know guys out there that could train their whole life that would never build muscle like Uzoma, no matter what they do. Is it because they're both natural? No, it's because Uzoma has better genetics. And if they train the same way, it doesn't matter. Like Uzoma's probably gonna build more muscle than an average skinny bloke, all right? So it's the same as comparing yourself to other people, is the same as comparing yourself to a non-natural versus a natural. So that's like where it all comes about. So if you're comparing yourself to your favorite fitness models, are you natural versus are they natural? That's one question. But then it's also like your genetics versus their genetics. So if they're a top fitness model, they have epic genetics. They are literally in a small percentage of the population that can look that way. So whether they're taking anything or not, it doesn't really matter, because either way, they have an advantage over you that you can never get most of the time, is like that genetic, you know, that's why there's genetic differences. Why even worry about it? Why even like spend your time, waste your energy thinking, oh, can I look like this? Can I look like that guy? There's no point. You look at your own body and go, what's the best that I can possibly look like? Like, what's the best that I can do with this? And that's what you're doing, guys. Otherwise, it's out of your control. Why waste your time with it? So just keep getting better, keep focusing on improving yourself, and only compare yourself with you. Okay, so don't compare yourself to other people, because all it's gonna do is gonna leave you disappointed. Your expectations are gonna be up here, and you're gonna be disheartened when it doesn't work out that way. So that's just kind of what I learned along the way, and I think I took it quite well. I mean, it was a slow kind of process, but it didn't really get me down at all. I just thought, oh well, that's the way it is. So I hope that kind of helps you guys out. I mean, I don't know if you wanted to hear that or not, but I think it's good to hear it. At least that's my insight on this. So sorry if this dragged on a little bit, but I feel like it had to be said. So if you like this video, then for the third time, hit that like button. Where is it? Is it there? Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as well. A bit of an update. We are going to Manchester very soon for the Gymshark pop-up. So if you guys are down in Manchester, head down to that. That'll be sick. We're really excited to meet all you guys. And then me and Elliot are going to Ibiza straight after. Ibiza or Ibiza? I feel like every time I say Ibiza, it's like I've got a lisp. Ibiza. So me and Elliot are going down to Ibiza, a bit near Spain, bit of partying, and just to chill. So otherwise, if you guys are there, then we can also tee that up. That'd be pretty epic. But otherwise, that is it from me, guys. I did hope you enjoyed this video, and you definitely know what to do. Stay massive. Getting massive, getting fucking huge, big it's what's important to me. And I understand that it looks like I grow a mustache on my lip here. It's a birth defect. I grow hair on the edges of my lip.
How do you fix that?
Bear. That was a terrible Jamie Oliver impression. I apologize. That's my first one. I just wanted to put a lisp in there. So there you guys have it.